the last secret of the Holy Grail. For centuries, the world has searched for the Holy Grail, the legendary cup said to hold divine power. Many believe it to be lost, or perhaps hidden by those who never wanted it to be found. But what if one man came closer than anyone before? This is the story of Dr. Alexander Graves, a world-renowned archaeologist whose obsession with the Grail led him into a mystery far deeper than he ever imagined. Dr. Graves had spent years studying ancient texts, following cryptic clues left in forgotten monasteries and lost catacombs. His research led him to a remote excavation site in the mountains of southern France. The final clue? An inscription hidden beneath the ruins of Montségur, stronghold of the Cathars, a group that many believe once held the Grail itself. The inscription spoke of a hidden chamber, one that had remained sealed for over 700 years. It mentioned a Sanctum Custodum, a sanctuary of the keepers, a place where an unbroken line of guardians had sworn to protect a sacred relic. Markings were in Latin and Occitan, the language of the Cathars, warning that only the worthy may enter. Graves was skeptical. Was this just another legend? Many before him had searched in vain, following false trails and fabricated myths. Something about this inscription felt different. It was too specific, too well hidden to be a mere story. He knew he was on the verge of something incredible. Graves wasn't the only one who had found the trail. Shadows in the ruins. As he descended into the ancient tunnels, he noticed something strange. Footprints in the dust. He wasn't alone. Someone had been here recently, or was still inside. He slowed his breathing, listening carefully. In the distance, a faint metallic clank echoed through the stone corridor. His heart pounded. Was it just loose debris shifting, or had he been followed? For centuries, secret factions have claimed to guard the Grail, believing its power was too dangerous to be revealed. Most secretive of them all, a hidden order within the Knights Templar, a group thought to have disappeared, whose influence still lingers in the shadows. Graves had always dismissed these theories as fantasy, till now. Inching forward, he reached a massive iron door, its hinges rusted with age. Strange symbols were carved into the stone archway above it. Templar crosses, spirals, and what looked like an ancient code. He traced his fingers over the markings, trying to make sense of them. Then, a soft shuffle of footsteps behind him. He spun around, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. But there was nothing, just the eerie silence of the catacombs. He had no choice. He had to go in. The discovery. The iron door groaned as it swung open. Graves stepped into a vast underground chamber, its high ceilings lost in shadows. Torches lined the walls, long extinguished but still standing, a sign that someone had once guarded this place. In the center, resting on an ornate stone pedestal, was a golden chalice. Its surface was etched with ancient symbols, faint traces of red staining the rim. The air felt heavier, charged with something indescribable. His breath caught in his throat. Was this truly it? The cup from the Last Supper, the relic that had been sought for centuries. As he stepped closer, a gust of wind rushed through the chamber, sending dust spiraling through the air. The walls trembled slightly, as if the tomb itself was reacting to his presence. Then, a voice, low, commanding. "Step away from the artifact, Doctor. Graves." The Templars arrived. Graves froze. From the darkness, figures emerged, dressed in modern tactical gear, but bearing the sigil of the Knights Templar, a red cross over a black uniform. Their faces were concealed by masks, but their movements were precise, practiced. One of them, clearly the leader, took a step forward. "You have no idea what you're holding." Graves glanced at the Grail, still inches away. His mind raced. Could he reach it in time? Would touching it unleash something unknown? "It's not meant to be found," the man continued. "We have protected it for generations, and we will not let you take it." Graves' pulse pounded. He had come too far to turn back now. "If you truly guard it," he said slowly, "then why keep it hidden? What are you afraid of?" The Templar agent didn't answer. Then, the gunfire started. The escape. Graves dove behind a stone pillar as bullets ricocheted off the ancient walls. Centuries-old dust filled the air, blinding him as he struggled to regain his footing. The Grail. He had to grab it and run. Through the haze, he spotted an exit tunnel, partially collapsed but still passable. He reached out, his fingers brushing against the Grail's surface. A sudden warmth spread through his palm, a tingling sensation rushing up his arm. There was no time to think. With one swift motion, he snatched the chalice and sprinted toward the tunnel. The Templars shouted behind him, their footsteps pounding closer. The chamber shook violently, as if the very ground was rejecting the theft. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling. The walls began to cave in. Graves leapt forward, barely squeezing through the narrowing passage as the chamber collapsed behind him, sealing the Grail's hiding place forever. The chase. Graves emerged into the moonlight, gasping for air. The Grail was still clutched in his hands, its golden surface warm to the touch. But the danger wasn't over. In the distance, engines roared. Black SUVs sped toward him, headlights cutting through the darkness. The Templars were relentless. He ran, feet pounding against the dirt. A gunshot rang out. Graves barely dodged as a bullet struck a stone beside him. He darted through the ruins, weaving between crumbling pillars. A helicopter appeared overhead, its searchlight sweeping the ground. Then he saw it, his only chance. A rusted old motorcycle, abandoned near a fallen wall. He leapt onto it, kick-starting the engine just as the Templars closed in. The final fate of the Grail. Graves sped through the winding roads of the French countryside, the black SUVs in pursuit. His heart pounded. Could he escape? Could he hide the Grail before they caught him? Nobody knows what happened next. Some say he vanished, taking the Grail with him. Others whisper that the Templars got to him first, ensuring the Grail would never be seen again. But one thing is certain, the search for the Holy Grail is not over. Those who seek it may not like what they find. Was the Holy Grail really found? Do the Knights Templar still protect it? If so, where are they hiding? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you love mysterious discoveries, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dive investigations into the world's greatest secrets.